Bride price is a historic scam generated by greedy uncles and land-grabbing relatives who hope to benefit from the sale of a girl they did not help in her upbringing, but rather sent her on numerous errands that did not benefit her or her family, but at the point of her being wedded to somebody who wants to change her life in a fit of envy and spite, not wanting her to enjoy the fruits of her labor and perhaps activities she may have committed in her hostel in school with this said guy, decide that they must have some monetary benefit of this. It's either the girl gets frustrated or they get paid. So it's just the greedy machination of relatives who don't wish you well. That's what I think bride price is.
A certain amount of money that has been come up by a group of family members who have had the same done to them, and they think it's time for revenge. It's time for us to also, put this girl that is about to be taken out of our family through some, horrors, all right, as well as the man who's about to take her out of our family, and make sure that, we make him uncomfortable by putting a hefty amount of money on our daughter that they want to take. That's what I think bride price is.
Bride price is the money that you pay for the bride.
The only reason I'm paying your father for you is because I plan to have daughters and I would like to make some good money. So I'm hoping somebody will pay me for my own daughters.
It makes my mind though, why do I have to do that? Because for me, I feel it's just an improved modern day slavery where I have to pay a huge sum of amount in the name of bride price because I want to marry you, because I want both of us to be partners, in an enterprise together called marriage.
You're not paying for a commodity. Don't get it wrong. You're not paying for a commodity. If you think about it, with the price behind the bride, it looks like it's a business transaction.
It's ridiculous, and for me, I don't understand why we still hold on to that tradition.
Culturally, just to show you attach some value to the woman, some sort of token fee should be paid to the family as a kind of reimbursement for all the years they've spent training her, except Okuta girls in Igbo State, whose fathers use bride price to build house, buy land, and go for chieftaincy titles. A bit too expensive. That's why we're not marrying your daughters.
Igbo bride, Igbo kwenu. Igbo kwenu. Anambra people. They like money. Basically, there's this myth where they say, I'm a Igbo, I'm a like a one here. Even with the guys, it's not just the girls, the guys. They say, an Igbo guys, all of us is money, hustle. You understand?
The Igbo bride price myth is true, it's real.
I've seen Igbo weddings that they didn't do too much. You understand? And it still has to do with the family. Some families, you will do a lot. Some, they don't really care.
I personally saw a cousin's introduction list that monetized was about 1.45 million. Just introduction, not engagement, not wedding. And even my dad had to ask, if we're going to pay this, do we get her mother as well? Because really, how do you make a guy pay so much? That's why many of these girls, they are very pretty, they are educated, but they are worship leaders at single fellowship in their late 30s because their bride price is too high. Yes, it affects.
All right, welcome back, guys. Someone that said if he pays for his wife, she better give him daughters.
Yeah.
So
that's investment.
He can also trade them out.
By the way, that was Nnamdi, and Nnamdi looks very, very comfortable with a feeding bottle. It looks like a baby all the time.
See? That's
You're taking shots at him because he's not here.
That's a perfect
Nnamdi's my guy.
That's a perfect example of where that thought process leads.
But that thought process doesn't make sense if you're actually not making money from it.
So we are accepting a system that we're not even willing to perpetuate with our own daughters, but we're willing to let our wives have that experience, really? Then how are we going to tell the children that are coming behind them that there's something
I'm giving my
else to look out
daughter
for?
away, I will collect 6 naira, 3 tubers of yam, and a bottle of...
And it will be a symbolic payment for a human life,
because I would like her to know where she's coming from. And these are things that
she's coming from you.
Now, okay, let me. I know I've been just trying to play devil's advocate on both ways and all of that. But with slavery, slavery comes with ownership. with a bride price, it can be returned.
want-
I'm just trying to make you understand that, because you're dwelling on the fact that once you pay, it means you can do anything with her.
It's not once you pay, it means you can do anything. But take a look at domestic abuse in Nigeria and tell me that there isn't.
That's a totally different subject.
But it's not
there
tied
isn't
to
an
the bride
incentive.
price. No, it's not tied to the bride price.
If you think that you own something, you think that you can
But
do whatever you
ownership
want with
is not tied to the fact that you were paid for. No, it's not. It's
Really?
just
What else is it
people who
tied to?
abuse women are just stupid and abusers. That's
Period.
it. It has nothing to do with the fact that I paid for you.
I think that culturally
No.
we're.
Anybody
we're,
who tells
I
you,
think we've
anybody
left
who
the door
tells
open
you
for that
that,
culturally.
anybody who
I
tells you
think
that he beat his wife up because he paid the bride price is just being an idiot. They're just
What about the
looking
women?
for a reason.
What about the women who get beaten by men that they're married to, and then they get sent, and then they go back home, and then their parents tell them, "No, you've got to go back to your
It
husband's
has nothing
house."
to do with the bride price. It just is a stupid thing. It just is a stupid thing.
The
To be
trade
very
has
honest.
been made. Go back to your owner.
No, it's not
You know,
about the
Ebuka, I
bride
think
price.
But how
there's
does
not
the,
enough
how
you can
does
tell
the
him.
woman not
We
know that?
cannot
If
It has
dissuade him from
nothing
the
to do
fact
with the
that
bride
it is
price.
how
not a
does
Should I-
this
sale.
woman,
should I tell you why?
whom we're entrusting with
do you know
the
the
care
one
of a
country?
new generation,
Do you know the one
that?
country today that has probably the highest rate of rape against women is India?
Yeah.
Do you know who pays the price? The woman.
Boom!
So
Oh,
it has
you're
nothing to
so
do with who pays.
intelligent.
The woman pays the men to marry them, but the men still own them. So it
Ebuka,
has nothing to do with payment.
Tell me that there is no relationship between the fact that we monetize the value of a woman and the way the women are treated in Nigerian society. Tell me that
It
it's
has
completely
nothing
disconnected.
to do with the bride price.
Nothing.
Tell
It
me
has
it's
everything to do with a man's ego and stupidity.
Tell me it's completely disconnected.
It is. With the bride price, it is.
If I ever
When I
become
look forward
stupid
to-
and decide to do this, I'm not going to be getting into bride prices.
When I go to a Yoruba wedding,
that's a big if.
The one thing I look forward to is that part where everybody has to dobale and all.
I like that part.
Yes, it's
Yeah.
a beautiful thing to see. It's very colorful. And for me, the bride price is just the same. It's nothing. It doesn't take anything for me to, bow down in front of your father.
A lot of people
That's
also
just
tell
all
you
it
that
is.
why,
It has
why,
nothing to do
why
with
on
it.
hell am I buying
There
down
are,
to your
there, are,
family?
there are northern cultures
I'm marrying you, not
where
your family.
before you take a bride, right, or Fulani cultures, I think I've read about this somewhere, where you get whipped,
Yep.
right? Would
Fulani,
either of
yeah.
you go for that?
Well,
If I was Fulani, yes. If I wanted to get married, yes.
I've never
I'm not
witnessed
Yoruba.
it.
And to be honest, like you said, I like the Dobale thing. But I look at it and I'm just like, why am I doing this? Because traditionally, the Igbo man is very proud. Why
Yeah.
am I lying down for you?
Yeah.
I'm not marrying, I'm marrying your daughter. I'm paying you, in quotes, and taking your daughter away. Now, for
And
me,
there we are.
Hey, don't
And there we are.
I did
don't
this,
get
relax,
happy.
There we are.
Don't get happy.
I'm done here today.
Andrea,
It's
drinking
his
too much.
culture.
Yes.
Relax, I
It
did
is-
this for you.
It is his
But
culture.
you do agree that that's
But
where
you
it
also
comes
said
from.
you like the Dobale. Why are you Dobale for the man?
I see. Now,
Who
if
is
you're talking, that is
Are
the
you
man.
marrying him?
That is the man who.
No.
That's
Answer
the
me,
man who
Andre,
invested
Andre,
his
Andre,
energy
don't
into
go
making.
round the
No.
compound.
Why
Answer me.
Why do I
Are you
dobale for
marrying
him?
him? Yes.
So wait, do I dobale to the woman? I don't dobale to the woman.
But
I
so
dobale to
why?
her parents
Why?
because they did a great job
We're doing what?
raising her.
But you're not
Okay?
marrying him. So you don't owe him anything,
I'm sorry.
to be honest.
So I shouldn't say thank you.
You don't owe him
I
anything.
should just go.
If you're going
Uga,
if
give
you
me the
want to
bride.
throw away,
I go now.
if you want to throw away tradition,
wait.
then be completely, I don't know, English, and take your daughter and not even tell
But
the
wait,
parents.
why is this a conversation about being English?
Because
this is a conversation
my point here
monetary
is-
association
No.
with human value, and you guys can't defend this stuff. And you're
You
coming.
don't
at
have
me
to
with
lie down to show
counter-arguments.
respect.
Guys,
People will argue with that.
settle
You
down,
don't have to lie
guys.
down
All
to
right,
show
all right.
respect.
Yeah, settle down.
But you don't have to lie down to show respect.
Okay, fine. leave
Just
it.
take it as a gift. That's all.
That's a stupid idea. That's the stupidest. You know what? Ebuka's leading point on this episode. I'm going to back down, but that's a stupid
Guys, it's
idea.
very simple. I'm not a huge fan of the bride price. If you want to pay it, fine. If your father-in-law insists on it, you better pay it because you're going to
better
get
pay
married.
it.
If you're like Andre, who's never going to get married, or says he
Philistine.
might not get married, then it's great.
I didn't say I'm never going to get
But
married. I said marriage
Don't
is stupid.
you use
It's a
that
big
as an
difference.
excuse to beat your wife because then you would be stupid.
Is that?
Because I would never be my wife for 9 naira.
You know what?
I don't
Here's what we
see
can
why
do.
anybody
Here
would.
is what we can do.
If
Wait,
you think like Andre,
Ebuka,
that's the
hold
reason
on,
to be violent,
hold on. Ebuka,
then I'm sorry for you.
Ebuka and I are both on Twitter. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to start a poll, okay? And the poll is going to be very simple. A, how much did you pay as bride price?
Okay.
And B, we're going to find out if the people who paid more as bride price felt more a sense of ownership over the woman or less, or if that didn't exist at all. Let's just find that out, and then we'll see where this goes.
Interesting.
Yeah? So Ebuka is at Ebuka on Twitter, right? And at Okija on Instagram. I'm the Andre Blaze on Instagram, at Andre Blaze on Twitter. Mazino, what's your handle?
Mazino Appeal.
Okay.
Twitter and Instagram.
Let's have this poll and let's actually see what comes back, right? Let the people decide. Okay.
Yeah.
Are you okay now?
No. But we'll take up this fight some other time.
Anybody gonna do do's and don'ts?
Let's find out what the women have to say, because I mean we're just all shouting here.
Oh yeah, we haven't.
And I know for the most
yeah.
part, I mean a couple of women I've talked to are not excited about it, but then at the same time, they know it's just what has to happen for them to, you know, be with whoever it is they love.
The pull of
But we'll find out
irresistible
what they have to
gravity.
say. I will be right back.
Bride price is about tradition, and yes, I know a lot of people know me and they know I'm not really a stickler for tradition, but there are some traditions I like to upkeep, like bride price, drinking after work. Where are we going to do this? Okay, wait, sorry, come back. Tradition, that's why they do it.
Kind of like placing value, you know, some form of value on the babe's head.
It kind of gives an essence of, you know, them saying they're not going to take you for granted, which is a lie, but you know.
It's like buying something, a car, PS, shoes. The more you spend, the more likely you are to treat it right and keep it well. So I think that was the whole idea.
You cannot put a number, wait, okay, that's a lie. If you're Bill Gates, you can put a number on how much you love me or how much my love is worth. But I'm just saying, realistically, you cannot put a number on how much love is worth. I think it's just more like, as I said, tradition is for the parents. It's not really for the bride. I mean, come on, I'm priceless.
Money is not some people's problem. I need you to understand that some people have this really a lot of money and they might not really care about you. They just want to put you inside the house. So it's not a standard, like I said earlier, for how much. You can't weigh the love by the amount of money spent. It doesn't now mean that you should not now spend money, because Kemi Smalls has said it doesn't really matter, but it really doesn't.
How much is too much? You're asking the wrong expense, because let's be honest. It's all comes to me like, we're going to pay 100 million for a bride price. Sure. Are you kidding me? But when you're requesting for it, 50 million?
I really can't say how much is too much, because it might differ per individual. But personally, if my family were to ask for a lot of money, and I know that, you know, it's just ridiculous or unnecessary, I would have to have a talk with them. And that's me being personal, because we usually have these talks when there's some things that I feel they're not doing right or they shouldn't be doing. So it should be easy. But you see, the problem is not every family, not every girl can have these kind of talks with her parents about how much the bride price is. But personally, I would, if I feel like it's a ridiculous amount, I will talk to them. I would. I'm not trying to kill my man before we actually enter the marriage.
Should bride price be abolished?
I'm not gonna go with abolishing it. I seriously, I don't know. I'm for culture, I'm for tradition. It's who we are as a people. So
that's like us giving away all our traditions. We don't really have anything left anymore, thanks to the westernization of Nigeria as a whole.
If you don't have a problem with it, like I said, if you can afford it, why not?
I won't say abolish it. I'm just saying, you know, let's make it respectful. Let's make it something we can understand. Like, let them know that the money is going to be returned back to them immediately, or at least you guys use it to pay for the wedding. I'm thinking, yeah.
All right. Yes, they're not fans of the bride price. But let's talk money now, because we do hear about some cultures, some states, some, I don't know.
Don't name any places
where,
you intend to drive through.
I'm not going to. Where certain lists go as long as like 4, 5, 6 pages.
Oh, man.
You know? Excuse me, you have the random greedy uncle who says, put 3 more cows there.
Remember that time that she had the smallpox? My 2 chicken went down.
She has 2 masters, my friend. Will you put, you know? So you have stories like that. When does it go too far?
When instances like you have just described, when there's an uncle or there's that brings in every little consequential instance
the
from,
an opportunity to hammer.
That's ridiculous. But there are lists. You got a list. I got a list.
Right.
I looked at the list and I laughed. I was like, wow, it's finally here. It's fun.
I have a bucket list.
That was all it was to me. That was all it was to me. At the end, these things are, in my culture, actually what go to putting together the ceremony. Yeah. Either the traditional ceremony, or whether you're having a white one, as they call it, or going to church. But it's not unnecessary. There are things that, and once again, I'm going to play that card. It's all part of the culture.
You think it's even too far from the beginning?
Yeah.
Even the 9 naira is plenty.
No. See. Okay, so I'm going to adopt a more moderate stance. Okay, let's say the rock bottom is 9 naira 90 kobo. Okay, that's what a woman costs today, people. Bring your 9 naira 90 kobo, 3 years of attention, and you've got her. Anyway.
How about you try that and see? If you've got her.
Why don't I not do something that foolish with myself? Because after I have her, getting rid of it is rather difficult. Anyway, well, how much is too much? I think at the point where you start to feel as though you're investing in whatever your relationship entails, that your monetary contribution adds up to some sort of investment. At that point, it's too much.
I think it's very sad if anybody looks at a traditional wedding as an opportunity for them to trade in their daughter or make money or get an investment or whatever it is.
But have you heard of it?
Of course it happens. Now, see, whether there's bride price or not, people will always do things like that.
But where is it usually coached?
I don't know, where?
Where is this lump sum usually placed? Where is it extracted from? What means? It's typically the bride price on the list, right?
Of course. That's what I'm saying. People will always do things like that.
So, hold on. So if there's a chance that 45% of the people who are doing this come away with the impression, whether sublime or on the surface, that they've invested in something, isn't it enough to make us think, nah, we should stop that so no one has to go around thinking that? Is it enough to hold on to the culture at the risk of having more women come in battered?
One small thing.
Once again, before I go, people do not get violent because they paid for their wives. And I'm very convinced about this. Well, it's all right. We can agree to disagree. People are violent just because they're stupid.
I agree with that.
Violent. But it's time for us to go, Andre.
Unfortunately.
Because we're going to agree to disagree.
Yes, we are.
Thanks for watching the show,
Thank
guys.
you, guys.
Please, we want to hear from you.
Yes.
What are your thoughts on the bride price? I'm not a fan of it. He obviously hates it.
Ebuka on Twitter.
I think it's
Mazino Appeal on Twitter. Andre Blaze
but share with us.
on Twitter.
I'm all for people practicing their culture, but at the same time, I'm not a huge fan of it. I don't think it's necessary. But hey, if that's what works for you, then why not? We'll see you guys next time.
Yes.
Mazino's here. Andre Blaze is here. My name is Ebuka. Have a great time.
Mazino, I'd like to pay 9 naira for your life. How would you like that?
All you need to make your marriage legit is consent from both parents.
Marriage without bride price, no, I don't think so. Unless the bride's father says, unless the father of the bride says, I don't want.
The marriage is legitimate without a lot of things right now. I think what matters now is God and some certificate that you have to sign to make it legal. Every other thing is just extra.
You signed your papers, you went to court, you did registry. Hello, the state of the law recognizes you as husband and wife.
Legally, once you go to court and sign, yeah. Once you do it in your church in the eyes of God, yes. Unfortunately, you cannot attend August meeting, age group meeting, Christmas in the hometown, burials of relatives, no chieftaincy, no local government chairman, no ward chairman, no senator, no governor. You cannot buy land, own land, sell land. You cannot be buried in your hometown. If those things don't really matter to you, why not? Go ahead. It's legal. It's very legal.